Our next speaker is Justin James with the iRODS Consortium, and his talk is going to be about Metalnx 3.1.0.
Okay, this talk is just about some of the changes we made recently to Metalnx. We released both 3.0 and 3.1.0 in the last few months. Okay, first, if you don't know, Metalnx is basically a web-based file browser for iRODS. So version 3.1.0 was just released in June. The biggest change that we had was Metalnx had its own database called the iRODS X database. That was in addition, it was underneath Metalnx, and we wanted to remove that database. So that was the biggest change of that. Along with the removal of the database, there are certain features that Metalnx provided that we had to remove because they were all done in the database itself. Things like favorites and templates and user profiles and bookmarks, and also some user fields like email address, things like that, that we had to remove because it was all stored in that database. Some other minor changes, we added a configuration option to hide the left sidebar, and I'll show you that. There will be some pictures to put that in context. Added support for the 10-level permission model that was added recently in iRODS. So the original permission model was only 4 levels, and now we have 10 levels. So Metalnx now supports that. Upgraded some third-party packages. So the user form changes. The default when you created a new user was a RODS admin, so we changed that to RODS user. We thought that was a better default. Again, we removed the personal information section because it was all that information was stored in the Metalnx database. We removed the option to assign, when you create a user, you could assign that user to groups at creation time. We thought that was kind of awkward, so we removed that. So now if you create a user and you want to assign it to groups, you have to first create the user and then go to the groups page and assign that user to groups. Another big change I think that we were excited about was we removed the requirement for admin credentials in Metalnx. Before this, you had to give in the configuration the admin credentials, and then it would proxy as the user that you log in as, and that seemed unnecessary. There was really no reason to do that. So now we just log in as the user that the person entered in the login fields. Again, library dependency updates and some bug fixes. So this is just to kind of show you what was in the Metalnx database, just so you'll know kind of what we got rid of. This is kind of a truncated version of the database, but so this has all been wiped out. Okay, again, I'm kind of repeating myself, but the Metalnx database provided things like user profiles and bookmarks and things like that that are no longer going to be supported. So the rationale for removing the database, mainly we just wanted a stateless GUI. We didn't want to have the state that the database had in it. That simplifies the code and makes it more maintainable. Only wanted a single source of truth. So what would have to happen is, for example, if you create a user in iRODS, there would have to be background scripts that would run to update Metalnx to let it know about these changes. So that was very buggy. People wrote a lot of issues on it, and it just wasn't good. So So some of the things we've removed, we can probably add back in just leveraging the iRODS database to do that, probably metadata. Okay, so just a few images to show you the changes. So the left here is what we had before 3.0, and at 3.0 we removed all the things, the database type things. So the left sidebar has been updated, and this particular image is for a RODS admin. If you're a RODS user, these first four would also not be displayed, so you get a much smaller list on the left side. Again, this is this is a 10 level permission model. Just show you that that we now support all 10 levels. Okay, the new user form changes. Again, the personal information has been removed, and also at the bottom, the attaching a group at user creation time has been removed. And I didn't touch the system role here. So this shows the defaults changing from RODS admin to RODS user. Okay, another minor change is there was a public link on the left sidebar, and that may not always be applicable. So we added a configuration option to disable that, and that's the default. But if you want to enable it, this will just show you how to do that. This is a list of all the library updates that we've made in both Metalnx and Jargon iRODS X database repository. And some of these changes also require Jargon changes as well. But these are the libraries we updated, and that addressed quite a few security vulnerabilities by upgrading these. Okay, so bugs that we fixed. One was if a user connected and gave invalid credentials or invalid user, iRODS would return a cat invalid user, and Jargon would return a invalid user exception. When that happened, the connection was remaining open. It wasn't getting closed, so we just fixed that. There was an odd bug about if you searched for metadata on the search screen, and it returned matches for data objects, but no collection matches. It would display properly on the screen, but if you tried to export it to CSV, it wouldn't work. But if you had collection and data object both in it, it worked, but it was just a weird bug. Anyway, that's been fixed. With the Spring upgrades, we addressed the Spring 4 shell vulnerability. Again, by removing the database, there were some issues written against a user created outside of Metalnx or not listed in Metalnx. So now to get user information, we go to iRODS. We don't need a second area to store that information. So that fixed that. Let's see. If I noticed just some testing that if the default resource was blank, you couldn't upload files in Metalnx. It would give an error, which was unfortunate. So now, if you can still put the default resource in the Metalnx configuration, but if it's blank, it'll just let iRODS figure out what resource it's going to use. So we fixed calculation for zip downloads and report data limit violations. Let's see what else. And there was an issue with passwords with backslash or semicolon, and that was fixed. I think that was just for Pam. I forget, but yeah, it has been fixed. And also, there were quite a few issues, at least a handful, that when we went through the list, once we removed the database, those issues just were no longer applicable. So those were closed. Okay, future work. As Corey said, we will be migrating this from Jargon to iRODS 4J. Ming, one of our interns, is actually in the process of doing that right now. The other thing that I really want to happen, I wasn't able to get it done in time, was the upgrade from Spring 5 to Spring 6. So we had upgraded to Spring 5 before. The Spring 5 to Spring 6 turned out to be quite a lift. It requires a lot of code changes, but we really want to get that done. So in the future, we are hoping that we can do that. And also, there's some more bugs that we want to fix. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I did want to say, so some of the things, again, that we've deleted, we do want to maybe reintroduce by leveraging iRODS metadata. So things like favorites and things like that. I see no reason why that can't be done in the future, but the first step was removing the database and getting rid of those. And if anyone wants those features or relies on those features, let us know, and then we'll do work on adding those back in, but without the Metalnx database.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Thanks.
Oh. Questions? All right. Do we have any questions for Justin? Slack. All right. What'd you feel was the most challenging part of doing all this work?
Well, I don't know if this counts, but the Spring 6 upgrade was becoming very challenging. Yeah, I would say that. I did spend a lot of time on it, just didn't get it done.
Okay. Oh, we have a question over here.
For the upgrade to the Metalnx 3, how is it just an RPM update, or do we have to drop in the WAR, or how does the upgrade works? Also, once you switch to the iRODS 4J library, how do you envision the upgrade to work? Like, will you automatically remove the libraries that are not needed, like Jargon and things like that?
Well, usually we run it in a Docker container, so you can just rebuild that Docker container and run it. Yeah, and I'm not sure about the iRODS 4J. That's still a work in progress, but I don't think it'll be because it would all be in that Docker container. It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Justin.